Hey everyone, welcome back to Arijit Talk Sports. This is Arijit, and today we are trying to figure out why India actually lost the 2019 Cricket World Cup. So, without any delay, let's begin. First reason why I think India actually lost the World Cup was the injury to Shikhar Dhawan. Now, as we all know, Shikhar Dhawan opens the batting lineup with Rohit Sharma. बहुत कमाल का पार्टनरशिप है उनका. Shikhar Dhawan provides some very good runs at the top. He's one of the most key players in the Indian batting lineup, and an injury to him really just shook the Indian team. And I think the Indian batting lineup had a big hole, which was just compounded by the fact that you couldn't really get a player to replace him. I mean, trying to replace him with a Hanuma Vihari was just not the right decision according to me, because Shikhar Dhawan is a pure batsman. He gives you runs at the top. And Hanuma Vihari is more of an all-rounder. You can't expect him to go at the number 4 position and give you runs, because when we look at his performances in the World Cup, he constantly disappointed. He didn't give runs. He threw away his wicket cheaply. So that's my problem with it. The Shikhar Dhawan injury, because he's one of the best batsmen that India had, and just trying to replace him with Hanuma Vihari was just not enough. Maybe if India had made better selections, maybe if they had picked Ambati Raidu, and Ambati Raidu could have gone into the place that Hanuma Vihari was asked to bat at. So I think that would have been a better replacement, or even a Mayank Agarwal opening the batting along with Rohit Sharma, or even a Manish Pandey would have been better choices than Hanuma Vihari. Honestly, that is, I think, was the first reason why India lost the World Cup. Number 2 is obviously the over-reliance on India's top 4. Now, Shikhar Dhawan, Virat Kohli, Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, as I said. Now, Shikhar Dhawan gets injured, you only have 3 players left. Now, you're relying on the top 3 to perform. And in multiple matches, if you see at the World Cup, the top 3 performed, and India actually did score a big target, or they chased the target down, and the rest of the team didn't even have to bat. But when the top 3 failed at the semi-final stage against New Zealand, the middle order had to bat, and they were just exposed. They were just exposed of not being good enough to face the pressure in a semi-final, and just they didn't have enough experience, and they didn't show enough class. They didn't show enough. I just think they crumbled under the pressure, and that was just because they were just too reliant on the top 3 to perform. So when they didn't perform, India were actually exposed. The middle order couldn't take the pressure, and just India lost that match, and India lost the World Cup. But the reason that I think was the most responsible for India actually losing the World Cup was poor selection and poor captaincy. As I talked about the Shikhar Dhawan injury and the team getting exposed for not having enough options to replace him. Well, you could have picked an Ambati Raidu, to begin with, for the squad that went to the World Cup. And after Dhawan's injury, you could have picked Ambati Raidu again. You did not. You could have picked Mayank Agarwal. You could have picked Manish Pandey. You did not. I also think they should have picked Rishabh Pant over Dinesh Karthik, because now, Dinesh Karthik might have more experience, but Rishabh Pant has more upside. Nobody can doubt that. Nobody can doubt his talent. But what he does not have is experience. So if you would have picked him earlier, and if you would have allowed him to play a few matches in the World Cup, he would have gained some much needed experience for the later stages of the World Cup, where you actually had to use him. So if Rishabh Pant, he has great talent, he can be a match changer, but he did not have experience. If you would have given him experience, maybe he could have actually played a big role in the semi-final against New Zealand. So that wasn't done. Talking about picking the playing 11, I think one of the biggest mistakes was, against, as I said, picking Hanuma Vihari, but the second mistake was picking Kedar Jadhav over and over again. I mean, Kedar Jadhav might have done good before the World Cup, and you took him to the World Cup. I agree with that. But when you saw him, just disappointing match after match after match, you should have given Ravindra Jadeja a chance earlier. Now, Ravindra Jadeja got his first chance against Sri Lanka. And he did not even get to bat in that match. The first time he actually did bat at the World Cup was against New Zealand, and he just gave a beautiful knock for India, and he was the only reason that India were actually fighting New Zealand for that final spot. Otherwise, New Zealand just had it all wrapped up. So, मेरा ये problem है. Kedar Jadhav should have been replaced way earlier with Ravindra Jadeja in the playing 11, because obviously Ravindra Jadeja is a good bowler, he's a good fielder, he's a good batsman. I don't know why he wasn't being picked. I don't know why Kedar Jadhav was just being preferred, even though he was disappointing match after match. So Hanuma Vihari, Kedar Jadhav, and I think another problem was just the continued rotation of the squad. Okay, I understand Virat Kohli is an aggressive captain, he likes to take risks. But at some point, you just have to let a playing 11 settle. obviously they were having injuries, so that was just unsettling the team anyway. So if you keep making changes, if you put Dinesh Karthik in at the last second, if you put Jadeja in at the last second, and if you don't give them enough experience, before that in the group stages, you're just setting them up for failure in ways. And just the team did not have enough chemistry. They didn't, feel very well settled, I think. So just rotating the playing squad every match, I think just didn't work for them. But also, I think an example of poor captaincy can be in the actual semi-final against New Zealand, where India lost. Now, again, aggressiveness of Virat Kohli on full display. When India had lost, the top three, Virat Kohli, KL Rahul, and Rohit Sharma had all gone cheaply, and they had to score a big target, you must send an MS Dhoni, because the biggest criticism that MS Dhoni was facing in that World Cup was that he takes too many balls to get going. Well, if he is being cautious at the beginning of the innings, this is the time to send him, because he has experience. He knows it's a big target. He knows how to pace his inning. So, and you can give him time to settle in before he can actually go for the target. So to send him, after that point was the perfect decision to do. But no, he sent out Rishabh Pant, and I think that was too early to send him. He doesn't have experience, and we all know that he has a very aggressive style of batting, and he just threw away his World Cup. I do know that he scored 32 runs, but that was just not enough. India was chasing a big target. So I think sending Rishabh Pant, Dinesh Karthik, and Hardik Pandya out at that time was just a bad decision. And after Dinesh Karthik got out, you had two youngsters on the pitch, Hardik Pandya and Rishabh Pant. So if MS Dhoni would have been out there, he would have given the inning stability. He would have saved his wicket, and India would he would have given the other guys some experience. So I think India would have been would have had a much better chance to actually chase that target. But obviously Virat Kohli went some other way, and it just completely flopped. So I think that was another example of poor captaincy, and one of the reasons why India lost the World Cup. With that, we come to the end of the video. Comment section में comment करके बताओ कि आपको क्या लगता है, why did India actually lose the World Cup? मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगेगा आपके comments को पढ़ के. अगर आपको इस वीडियो में मजा आया तो please like, comment, share and subscribe, and see you guys in the next one as always.